प्यारे बच्चों, मैं डॉक्टर मनोज शर्मा आपका स्वागत करता हूं एजुसेट प्रसारण पे। हम इन 2 लेक्चर्स की श्रृंखला में बायोमॉलिक्यूल्स टॉपिक पे चर्चा करेंगे। ओके स्टूडेंट, द ऑब्जेक्टिव्स ऑफ टुडेज लेक्चर इज दैट व्हाट आर बायोमॉलिक्यूल्स, टाइप्स ऑफ बायोमॉलिक्यूल्स, what are primary and secondary metabolites, and what are the functions of primary and secondary metabolites. आप बच्चों जानते हैं कि चाहे निर्जीव या सजीव कोई भी वस्तुएं हैं, वो कुछ एलिमेंट से मिलके बनी है। तो हम जो आपके स्क्रीन पे स्लाइड आ रही है उसमें ये चर्चा करेंगे कि निर्जीव वस्तुओं में एलिमेंट्स की परसेंटेज क्या होती है और सजीव वस्तुओं में एलिमेंट्स की परसेंटेज क्या होती है। हमने निर्जीव वस्तुओं के लिए अर्थ क्रस्ट का एग्जाम्पल लिया है और सजीव वस्तुओं में हमने ह्यूमन बॉडी का एग्जाम्पल लिया है। हाइड्रोजन जो है वो क्रस्ट में 0.14% मात्रा में पाया जाता है, जबकि ह्यूमन बॉडी में यह एलिमेंट 0.5% मात्रा में पाया जाता है। कार्बन जो है वो 0.03% अर्थ क्रस्ट में और 18.5% ह्यूमन बॉडी में पाया जाता है। ऑन द अदर हैंड, ऑक्सीजन 46.6% इन अर्थ क्रस्ट and 65.0% in human body. Nitrogen in a very little quantities in earth crust, and whereas in human body it occurs in 3.3% of the total weight. Sulfur 0.03% in earth crust, and in human body its percentage is 0.3%. On the other hand, sodium having 2.8% by weight in earth crust, and in human body it is 0.2%. Calcium 3.6% in earth crust, and in human body it is 1.5%. Then magnesium 2.1%, and in human body it is 0.1%. Silicon in earth crust occurs in 27.7% by weight. However, in human body its percentage is negligible. Now students, as we observed that almost all the elements occurs in human body. However, main constituent of living tissue are the following elements: sodium, potassium, calcium, magnesium, water, and some more compounds also occurs in the living tissue. These are sodium chloride, calcium carbonate, and some ions, phosphate and sulfate ions. Then students, now questions comes, what type of organic compounds are found in living organisms, and how does one go about finding the answer? हमारे सजीव जगत के अंदर कौन कौन से कंपाउंड्स लिविंग ऑर्गेनिजम्स में या सजीव जगत में पाए जाते हैं और हमें उनके बारे में कैसे पता लगता है? फॉर फाइंडिंग द आंसर ऑफ अबव सेड क्वेश्चंस, वन हैज़ टू परफॉर्म अ केमिकल एनालिसिस. सो हाउ डज वी डू अ केमिकल एनालिसिस ऑफ the living tissue? We can take any living tissue for chemical analysis, whatever it may be, vegetable or a piece of liver, etc., and grind it in trichloroacetic acid using a mortar and pestle. We obtain a thick slurry. If we were to strain this through a cheesecloth or cotton, we would obtain two fractions. One is called the filtrate, or more technically the acid soluble pool, and second one is called the retinate, or the acid insoluble fraction. Scientists have found thousands of organic compounds in the acid soluble pool. Analytical techniques, when we apply to the compounds, give us an idea of the molecular formula and the probable structure of the compounds. All the carbon compounds that we get from living tissue can be called biomolecules. जितने भी ऑर्गेनिक पदार्थ हमें जीव जगत से मिलते हैं वो सभी बायोमोलिक्यूल्स कहलाते हैं. However, living organisms have also got inorganic elements and their compounds in them. सजीव जगत में इनऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स भी पाए जाते हैं. तो स्टूडेंट्स, द क्वेश्चन राइजेज हियर इज हाउ डू वी नो दिस, हमें कैसे पता लगता है इसके बारे में. फॉर दिस ए स्लाइटली डिफरेंट बट destructive experiment has to be done. Now students, weigh a small amount of living tissue, say leaf or liver, and this is called the wet tissue, and dry it. After drying, we know that all the water evaporates. The remaining material gives dry weight. Now if the tissue is fully burned, all the carbon compounds are oxidized to gaseous form of carbon dioxide and water vapors and are removed from the material. What is remaining is called ash. This ash contains inorganic elements like calcium, magnesium, etc. Inorganic compounds like sulfate, phosphate, etc. are also seen in the acid soluble fraction. Now students, from the previous discussion, it is clear that the living organisms are mainly contain the hydrogen, oxygen, carbon, chlorine, etc. From a chemistry point of view, one can identify functional group. For example, aldehyde, ketones, aromatic compounds, etc. But from a biological point of view, we shall classify them into amino acid, nucleotide bases, fatty acid, and saccharides, etc. Now students, let us take amino acid first. As you know, amino acids are organic compound containing an amino group and an acidic group as substituents on the same carbon. अमाइनो एसिड में एक सेंट्रल कार्बन एटम होता है और उस सेंट्रल कार्बन एटम से एक अमाइनो ग्रुप और एक कार्बोक्सिलिक ग्रुप अटैच होता है. इस कार्बन को हम अल्फा कार्बन के नाम से जानते हैं. हेंस दिस कार्बन एटम इज कॉल्ड एज अल्फा कार्बन एटम. And by the name of this carbon atom, amino acids are known as alpha amino acids. There are 4 substituent groups occupying the 4 valency position. These are hydrogen, carboxylic group, amino group, and a variable group designated as R group. Just because of this R group, the different type of amino acids are formed. And as you know students, there are 21 different type of amino acids are observed in proteins. Means जो प्रोटीन है वो 21 अलग अलग तरह के अमाइनो एसिड से मिलकर बने हैं. Based on the nature of the R group, there are many amino acids. However, those which occurs in proteins are only 21 amino acids. The picture coming on your screen shows the different three categories of amino acid. Glycine, you observe that in this molecule a alpha carbon contain the carboxylic group, the amino group and two hydrogen atom attached to alpha carbon. बच्चों, तो आपकी स्क्रीन पे जो दूसरा अमाइनो एसिड है वो है एलेनिन. सिमिलरली इन दिस अमाइनो एसिड आल्सो द अल्फा कार्बन contain amino group, carboxylic group, one hydrogen group and one methyl group. The third amino acid is serine और इसमें R जो चेन है, R chain contains one hydroxyl group attached to methyl group. In case of amino acid students, the chemical and physical properties are determined by the amino group and carboxylic group, and also the R group play an important role in determining the chemical and physical properties. For example, the acidic nature of amino acid is due to the carboxylic group and the basic nature is due to the amino group. However, some amino acids are neutral also. The best example of acidic amino acid is glutamic acid, in which the carboxylic group determines the acidic nature. However, the lysine is the best example of basic amino acid, and valine is the example of neutral amino acid. Students, there are some aromatic amino acids also, and these amino acids are tyrosine, phenylalanine and tryptophan. A particular property of amino acid is the ionizable nature of amino and carboxylic group, which is very important. अगर हम अमाइनो एसिड की पीएच को चेंज करें तो उसकी कार्बोक्सिलिक ग्रुप या अमाइनो ग्रुप की आयोनाइजेशन हो जाती है, एंड इट डिटरमाइंस द स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ द अमाइनो एसिड्स, कि वो कैसे रिएक्ट करेगा किसी रिएक्शन में, या वो कैसे अटैच्ड होगा, या प्रोटीन की नेचर क्या होगी. ऑल इट डिपेंड्स अपॉन द आयोनाइजेबिलिटी ऑफ अमाइनो एसिड. बच्चों, आपके स्क्रीन पे जो पिक्चर दिखाई दे रही है उसमें हमारे सामने 3 मॉलिक्यूलर स्ट्रक्चर्स हैं, एंड ऑल दीज 3 मॉलिक्यूलर स्ट्रक्चर्स आर separated with each other by a reversible reaction. In the first molecular structure आप देख रहे हैं कि अमाइनो ग्रुप जो है वो आयोनाइजिंग कंडीशन में है. However, in the second, which is represented by the B structure, the both groups carboxylic as well as amino groups are in ionizing form. The third structure C contains only the carboxylic group of amino acid in ionizing form. The B structure is specifically known as zwitterionic form. The second biomolecule we are going to discuss is lipids. जितने भी ऑयल्स, घी और चिकने खाद्य पदार्थ जो हैं बच्चों, वो सभी लिपिड से बने हुए हैं. These lipids are generally water insoluble. They could be simple fatty acid. फैटी एसिड जो हैं वो 1 से लेके 20 कार्बन तक की चेन हो सकती है और उसके एक सिरे पे कार्बोक्सिलिक ग्रुप अटैच होता है. द कार्बन चेन is represented as the R group. Now let us take the example. The palmitic acid is the first example, contain 16 carbon in its structure including carboxylic group. However, arachidonic acid has 20 carbons including carboxylic group in its chain. बच्चों, फैटी एसिड जो हैं वो 2 प्रकार के हो सकते हैं. ये डिपेंड करता है कि फैटी एसिड चेन में डबल बॉन्ड प्रेजेंट है या नहीं है. अगर डबल बॉन्ड प्रेजेंट नहीं है तो हम उसको कहेंगे सैचुरेटेड फैटी एसिड. एंड इफ़ द डबल बॉन्ड इज़ प्रेजेंट in between the 2 carbon atoms, then the fatty acid is known as unsaturated fatty acid. In the picture appears on your screen, you observe all the different type of fatty acids. The simplest one is the glycerol. Glycerol is made up of 3 carbon atoms attached with the hydroxyl group. Then there is picture of palmitic acid and one picture represents the triglycerides, the other phospholipids, and the last picture having ring structure is cholesterol, which is the complex structure, and it is the very important constituent of the biomembrane. Now students, as I told you, the glycerol is the simplest type of lipid and it contains trihydroxypropane structure. Many lipids contain both fatty acids and glycerol molecule attached with each other. The process by which the glycerol attach with fatty acid is known as esterification. If one molecule of fatty acid attached to glycerol, then the fatty acid is known as monoglyceride type of fatty acid. If 2 molecule of fatty acid attached to glycerol, then glycerol molecule is known as diglyceride type of fatty acid. And if all the hydroxyl group of glycerol are replaced by fatty acid molecules, then the molecule triglyceride is formed. Now students, oils have lower melting point. It is the characteristic feature. They melt on low temperature. For example, gingerly oil. Some lipids have phosphorus group also. These lipids contain phosphorylated organic compounds. These are known as phospholipids. These lipids are the major constituent of biomembranes because these having bipolar nature. Bipolar nature means having the affinity towards water as well as they hate water, having both the part. The head part of this lipid is water loving and the tail part is water hating. Now some tissues, especially the natural tissues, have lipids with more complex structure such as cholesterol, having the more complex ring structure. Now students, let us talk about the nitrogenous bases. These are also called as organic compounds. जीव जगत में ऐसे बहुत सारे पदार्थ पाए जाते हैं जिनमें हेट्रोसाइक्लिक रिंग्स होता है, और इनमें जो सबसे बेस्ट एग्जाम्पल हैं वो है एडिनिन, गुआनिन, साइटोसिन, यूरेसिल and thymine. All these compounds contain the heterocyclic ring in their structures. When found attached to sugar, they are called nucleosides. जब कभी ये heterocyclic ring शुगर से अटैच होते हैं तो उस पूरे मॉलिक्यूल को हम न्यूक्लियोसाइड्स के नाम से जानते हैं. If a phosphate group is also found attached with these molecules along with the sugar molecule, they are called nucleotides. जब कभी एक फॉस्फेट ग्रुप भी इनसे अटैच हो जाता है शुगर मॉलिक्यूल के साथ, तो हम इनको न्यूक्लियोटाइड के नाम से जानते हैं. For example, adenosine, guanosine, thymidine, uridine and cytidine are nucleosides. Then adenylic acid, thymidyllic acid, glutaminylic acid and uridylic acids, cytidyllic acids are nucleotides. स्टूडेंट्स, जो आपके स्क्रीन पे स्ट्रक्चर दिखाई दे रही हैं वो नाइट्रोजिनस बेसिस की स्ट्रक्चर है. ये दो प्रकार के हो सकते हैं, प्यूरिन्स एंड पायरिमिडीन्स. प्यूरिन्स ऑलवेज फॉर्म्स अ बेस पेयर विथ पायरिमिडीन्स in case of DNA molecule. Adenine and guanine are known as purines, whereas cytosine, thymine and uracil known as pyrimidines. बच्चों, अब हम बात करेंगे लास्ट मॉलिक्यूल जो कि मोनोसेक्राइड्स या शुगर कहलाते हैं. ये 6 कार्बन या 5 कार्बन के बने हो सकते हैं. These are having ring structures as appears on your screen. We have a structure of glucose molecule and ribose molecule. The glucose molecule is made up of 6 carbons, whereas the ribose molecule is made up of 5 carbon. Now student, let us talk about the primary and the secondary metabolites. In a living world, the most exciting aspect of chemistry deals with isolating thousands of compounds, small as well as big, in the living organisms. These determining their structures and if possible synthesizing them. If one were to make a list of biomolecules, such a list would have thousands of organic compounds including amino acids, sugars, nucleic acid, fats, etc. We can call these biomolecules as metabolites in animal tissue. One notice that the presence of such category of compound are called primary metabolites. The compounds like nucleic acid, sugars, oils, fats, and proteins are called as primary metabolites, whereas in plant secretes some chemicals or they store some chemicals, and these chemicals are alkaloids, flavonoids, rubber, some essential oils, antibiotics, then some coloring pigments, scents, gums, spices, etc. All these plant compounds are known as secondary metabolites. Let us take examples of secondary metabolites one by one. For example, pigments, carotenoids and anthocyanins, alkaloids, morphine and codeine, terpenoids, monoterpenoids and diterpenoids. Then best example of essential oil is lemongrass. A few drugs are also obtained from the plants. All these categories are observed by you on your screen. Now students, what are the functions of primary and the secondary metabolites? While primary metabolites have identifiable functions and play known role in the normal physiological process, proteins have specific function, fats have specific, sugars are the main source of energy and also act as the structural component, whereas we don't know at the moment what are the role of secondary metabolites in living world. However, many of them are useful to human welfare. They are used as rubber, drugs, spices, scent and pigment. Some secondary metabolites have ecological importance also. तो बच्चों, आज हमने अमाइनो एसिड्स, फैट्स, ऑयल्स, शुगर्स और प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी मेटाबोलाइट्स के बारे में पढ़ा। हमने उनकी डिटेल स्ट्रक्चर्स के बारे में पढ़ा और अब हम कुछ एक्टिविटीज़ जो है वो घर पे करके देखेंगे। नोट डाउन द एक्टिविटीज़। स्टूडेंट्स टेक सम शुगर क्यूब्स एंड पुट देम ऑन some hot surface. Then note down the observation. What happens to that? उन शुगर क्यूब्स के साथ क्या होता है आप नोट डाउन करें. Then take some oil drops on a piece of paper and note down the observation in your notebook. आप देखें कि पेपर के ऊपर क्या चेंजेस आते हैं. देन स्टूडेंट्स टेक 2 eggs and boil one of them. Remove the outer layer of boiled egg. Note down the difference between boiled and raw eggs. अब आपने जितनी भी ऑब्जर्वेशन नोट की हैं उन सभी को अपने टीचर से डिस्कस करें और पता लगाएं कि ये कैरेक्टरिस्टिक फीचर किस बायोमॉलिक्यूल्स के हैं. We end the lecture and in next lecture we will discuss about the polymers of these biomolecules in details. Thank you.